Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about sensitivity. Sensitivity because it's a particular word and subject that's been very heavily bastardized, and so I want to set the record straight about what sensitivity actually is. So when we hear of the word sensitivity or sensitivity is talked about, etc., we can either feel that it's kind of pathetic, or perhaps we think it might be quite mild, or that's someone who is pretty weak basically, and all of that's bollocks. That's not what sensitivity is, or that's not what it means to live in a sensitive way. Sensitivity is essentially our ability to read between the lines. In other words, to actually feel the subtleties of life, way beyond what the eyes can see. And so sensitivity is something that is innate to all of us, and we are all very, very sensitive. And we can't stop that. And the reality is that we're actually using our sensitivity a lot of the time, but this video is to highlight the fact that there's so much more to our sensitivity that we can actually utilize. So I'll give you a simple example of using sensitivity. Have you ever been driving and you've driven somewhere where you've been thinking about something else, and then suddenly you were just at your destination? And it's like, how did I get here? I didn't think about how I got here, I just got here. Well, that's a classic use of sensitivity. In other words, your sensitivity got you there, perhaps because you were familiar with the way where you were going, the location, the landmarks, etc., whatever it is, but your body got you there, because you weren't thinking about it. So clearly it wasn't your mind. But if we're using sensitivity in those kinds of situations, what if we applied sensitivity to other situations, like conversation and expression and communication? And what if we really brought out our sensitivity and started to use it to navigate life and make decisions and choices a lot more than we actually do? So sensitivity is something that we all have, and it's innate to all of us. So I just want to make that super, super clear. Because something that I often hear in clinic is this notion, just as a basic example, that women are more sensitive than men. And again, that's a load of baloney. That is not the case. It may be that in general, if we're calling a generalization, that men are less expressive of their sensitivity than women. But that's not necessarily the case either. And just to highlight that, basically, it is quite common for men to not express, and they just kind of hold in and stay silent. And they're sensing things, they're super sensitive, they pick up on people's moods, they know what's going on, but often for men, expression and communication is a terrifying prospect. So they just keep it in, and we just get that wall, or we just get the, how do you feel today? And the guy just grunts, and doesn't actually have a conversation. So that's an issue with expression, obviously, and it's an issue with having, a relationship with sensitivity and being okay expressing their sensitivity. But with women, for example, they may be very talkative, but that talk may not actually be truly coming from their true sensitivity. It may be quite emotional and reactive. And so whilst there might be a lot of words and a lot of description of what happened, and he said this and she said that and so forth, it's not truly coming from their sensitivity. And so just to set the record straight, we are equally sensitive. It's just that the only difference that we can see on a particular level is, first and foremost, how much of a conscious relationship somebody has with their sensitivity, and how willing they are to express their sensitivity. So for example, some people express their sensitivity, but only in front of their loved ones, so only at home. But when they go out in the world, they don't express their sensitivity, because for whatever reason, they might feel they're going to be ridiculed, or it's not allowed, or they feel like the world will just simply reject them if they do express from their deep, sensitive feelings. And so they save that for their family and their kids or something like that. But some people don't even do it with their family, but they might have a relationship with sensitivity with themselves personally. And so it's a very private relationship that they have. And then there are some people that don't even have it with themselves. In other words, because their sensitivity has been so heavily rejected, perhaps when they were little, They've shut down the door on sensitivity, even to themselves. And now life is far more functional and much less sensitive. And so you can see as we talk about sensitivity, it's another huge subject. And every subject that we talk about on these videos seems to be a huge subject. But essentially, there's lots that we can say about sensitivity as we start to look at the different grades of sensitivity in terms of the different levels of shutdown. Okay, so just to conclude, sensitivity is a super strength. And that's what we need to understand. That sensitivity is not some kind of weakness, but in fact is a level of intelligence that allows us to navigate through life with ease. But without sensitivity, or using sensitivity in the way that we can, we're basically going on limited information. And so we tend to get hit sideways, or we're getting bombarded by life because we're not utilizing the thing that we actually have, which is a natural ability to navigate life through our sensitivity.